Good morning. Happy Sunday. About a year ago, but actually specifically about 13 months ago, I accepted a challenge, Rene Rodriguez Ethos Challenge. And part of that challenge was to post online every day a 15-minute post. And we had to do it for 90 days. And 15 minutes is a very, very long time. And as I was trying to discover what to talk about for 15 minutes, I started to create theme days. And one of my favorite days was Sundays, today, where I would review a book. So for over the past year, I've reviewed a book every Sunday. And boy, has it been fun. And for those that listen, you've really given me some great feedback. I appreciate it. It was quite the task to read a book a week. The problem wasn't reading the book a week. The challenge is the constraint on how much time I have or anyone has to consume content. And you have competing content. You have articles and periodicals and reports, and you have podcasts and books. It's just a lot of stuff. And so what happened when I mostly listened to the books on Audible, but I read a few of the books, it takes about 10 or 12 hours. And that's 10 or 12 hours of content you can't get someplace else. Meaning, I had to start listening to fewer podcasts, and I started reading fewer articles or studying fewer reports because my choice was books. And books might have the greatest wisdom in them. Articles, podcasts, tactics and strategies, articles, reports have data and information, knowledge. But I think you get wisdom from books, and so it's been a really good journey. But here's the thing: I think I'm going to stop that journey because I want to slow it down. One of the things I found in reading a book every week is that there are some books I really relished and I want to spend time on, and I want to develop my own action plan and strategies on how to deploy the themes from the book or the strategies from the book in my own life. And I didn't have time to really go that deeply into the book because the next book was due in 7 days. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop doing a book every week, probably change it to a cadence of once a month, probably partner with one of my friends and do a book report, include you in the book report, meaning instead of being me telling you about a book, I'm going to try to lead a book club kind of thing, which I've done at almost every company I've worked at. I've had I don't call it a book club, but we call it whatever. We'll call it book club right now, but we called it something else every place I worked. And so I think we're gonna do that. I'll probably partner with somebody, and it'll be a lot of fun, and we'll slow it down to once a month. So today I'm not going to review a book, but what I thought I would review is the books that I've reviewed the last year. So I'm going to go through the list, and really what I'm going to do is give you the top 10 books, my favorite books I read in the last year. Now, it doesn't mean that books approach you as you're ready to receive them. Meaning you can read a book today and go, that book wasn't for me, and you can read it 5 years later and go, that was the best book you ever read. Because it's all about where you are when you receive the book. It's not where the book is. And so this list could change in a year, but I'm gonna share my list. First, let me share my screen. First, let's check out the book list. I know this is kind of small. This is the book list from the last year. Quite a good titles, I'm not going to read them all, but they're quite a good book, quite a big list. But what I want to do is I force rank the books, and I'm going to share my top 10. I'm going to share the top 10, and you know what I'm going to do? Here, let's do this. Let's make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. So let's, this is way too big. Sorry about that. Let's go down. Let's start from let's go 10. So my favorite book in the last year, one of the few books that I had read repeatedly, was Start With Why. How Great Leaders Inspire Everyone to Take Action by Simon Sinek. That's a great book, enduring book. It's still great. Number 9, another great book, Unleashing Your Hero. Rise Above Any Challenge, Expand Your Impact, and Be the Hero the World Needs by Kevin Brown. Kevin's a great speaker, and it was a really, really good book. And I really, really enjoyed that book. Surprising number 8, Power of One More by Ed Mylett. I was surprised at how technical that book was. I was expecting to have just from listening to his podcast, I was expecting to have a bunch of stories and light reading, but it was a meaty book. It was a chore to get through. There's a lot of stuff in it, and it was really, really good. So that was surprising. Number 7, this is surprising. The book Die With Zero, Getting All You Can From Your Money in Your Life by Bill Perkins. Here's why it's a surprise. When I started reading that book, I didn't like it. I didn't like the whole premise. The whole premise to me, felt like in the beginning about irresponsibly just spending your money and not saving for retirement kind of thing. But it's not that at all. The book is about how to optimize your life, and it's a really good book. And that book I spent a lot of time thinking about, because while I disagreed with some of it, it really had an influence on me about how do you optimize your life, when's the best time to spend money, how's it best to spend money. It was a really, really, really good book. The next book, which this might be, if I had read this book more recently, although I read it about 2 months ago, Get to the Point. The subtitle is Sharpen Your Message and Make Your Words Matter. That was probably one of the better books I've read. And that's one of the books that is motivating me to stop doing weekly book reviews, because I want to get back to that book and I want to spend a lot of time studying it. I want to become better at communicating, forming, coherent arguments and presentations. And that book was chock full with great pointers. And so, like I said, it's one of the reasons it's motivating me to slow down my cadence on these books. So on the really good ones, I can really spend time and try to get those into, implement those in my own life. Number 5, another really surprisingly good book, Rocket Fuel. Here's what I like about this book. That book was only 3 hours on Audible. 3 hours, 45 minutes, super easy to listen to. It's the founders of EOS, It was a great book on strategy, especially on ownership, leadership, how to structure company leadership. Really good, nice and tight, quick in and out, really great book. My number 4 book for the last year, Gap and the Gain. This was referred to me by Dave Savage. I don't know if he lovingly referred it to me, but suggested I could get better, that I live in the gap and I need to learn how to live in the gain. And so I learned a lot from that book. Now, the book was written by Dr. Ben Hardy with Dan Sullivan. And interestingly, on my book list from last year, I read 3 books from that pair and then 1 from Benjamin Hardy. And as a matter of fact, 10X is easier than 2X was my number 11 book. So just off the top 10, but I really got to know those two through their writings this last year. Number 3, I know this is on everybody's list, so it's no shock, Atomic Habits by James Clear. I had started that book some time ago and didn't finish it, so I was really enjoyed getting through the book. Like everyone else, I got a ton out of that book. That's why it's my number 3. Number 2 was a sneaker, and snuck up on how good it was. It's called Click. How to make what people want. That is a great book. In that book, I think that there's a foundation principle. There's all sorts of really good stuff in that book. That's another one of those books I'm going to go back to, read again, and implement the items in the book that I didn't have a chance to because I was rushing to the next week. And then finally, by far, my favorite book in the last year was Unreasonable Hospitality. It is just a fantastic book. It's about creating the best restaurant in the world and what it takes and the attention to detail. But it's applicable especially to anybody that has customer service or serves customer, which is all of us. And that book is just remarkable. Just the attention to detail, and there's just so much to be inspired about. So that is my top 10 of the books I've read in the last year. Look for my book report cadence to change. Instead of being book reports, it'll be some sort of interactive book club. I'm really looking forward to it. Like I said, I'm a partner with probably one of my friends, and we're really going to try to bring valuable books that we can all get something out of. And so for those people that have been checking out my book reports, I appreciate it. For all those people that give me feedback, I appreciate it. And now on to the next chapter, so to speak. Thanks so much. I hope you're having a great Sunday. I appreciate you spending some time with me. I look forward to talking to you again soon.